Hey, what's going on, my friends? How are you? I hope everyone's doing well. Making this video, I want to explain a couple of things about my absence, where I've been a little bit. Some of it had to do with the move and stuff like that, but there are a couple things kind of behind the scenes, the reason why I haven't made so many videos of late. I want to get into that. Also, later on in the video, I want to talk about my top 10 things I'm trying to get used to living up here in the country, up in the mountains. But let's get right to the reason behind what I've been doing, where I've been. Why am I not commenting on videos and kind of in some of the chats and stuff like that? So because I don't want people to think that the passion is gone or anything like that, because that couldn't be further from the truth right there. Besides my move, of course, which did have a factor in my videos. I took like 3 months off, and I was telling people, I'll be back in July, I'll be back in July. But that was not the whole reason why I have at least cut back on making videos. At one point, I was doing 3 or 4 videos a week, sometimes 5. I mean, I just was pumping them out. And the reason for the less videos, okay, is I really felt a repetitiveness in my videos, like these cookie cutter videos. It was walking in the woods, sapling breaks, tree leans, etc., all that stuff, except I was just on a different trail on a different forest. And even though I was getting comments of people that love that, they love to that don't get out, they can't get out for one reason or another, health reasons, their job, where they live. They liked my videos walking through the woods, because that way they could get kind of a look into, almost a virtual hike maybe, right? And I was really, really trying to avoid a situation where my videos got really boring and I would disappoint the viewers that watch my videos, not just subscribers, people that just come by and watch the video. Maybe they get convinced, they watch another video and they say, this guy's just walking through the woods. I mean, you could see that, kind of see that anywhere. And I was trying to avoid that cookie cutter, that repetitive, same thing over and over again. And I kind of tried to switch, and I kind of went to this van chat thing, and I started to talk in my van about other videos, and I would kind of go through them and show clips and stuff like that. And I enjoyed that a lot. I really liked doing that. And I had got a couple of comments. One in particular was a woman who very kindly told me why she's unsubscribing, because she didn't subscribe to my channel to watch me sit in the van and talk about other people's videos. And I responded. She was nice enough to leave that comment and at least explain what she could have just left, and that would be it. And I took that kind of to heart. I thought to myself, she's kind of right. I was getting away from being in the forest, but I so enjoyed talking about these videos and kind of critiquing these sightings, and is this real? What do you think? And I wanted feedback and everything, and I don't know. So I got away from that, and I got back into the woods. And I did hit a slight burnout point. I made like 100 and something videos, and I just was pumping them out. And I was like, whew, that's where that repetitive feeling kind of came from. Like, what am I doing here? Am I just making videos to make videos? That's not the reason why I started this channel. I started the channel because of that back and forth, because of the comments and meeting new people. I loved that. I didn't even realize that was going to happen, but it did, regardless. And that's kind of what happened a little bit. Now, something of more recent that has happened is where I kind of have disappeared from the chats, and I was watching so many YouTube videos on Bigfoot that I had decided to take a step back from that. Kind of where I wasn't participating in a couple of the Facebook groups that I'm actually a member of, and I kind of stepped away. And I definitely kind of watched from afar a lot of videos. I didn't stop watching Rick Woodbooger Farms. I watch all his videos. Bigfoot Explorer, Bigfoot Odyssey. I watch all of those. I just stay out of the chat rooms, and I'm kind of watching from trying to be from the outside looking in again, because I remember that's when I had my best perspective, right from the beginning when I started this channel. I remember that's where I had my clearest, cleanest thoughts and theories in my head. And once I started to interject myself into the comments and into the chats and stuff like that, I started to, like, that gang mentality. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but others would comment in the chats or comment on my videos, and I found myself being swayed one way or the other on my own opinion. I was getting convinced by others that maybe my theories and ideas were wrong. I developed these over time. So I stepped back and stopped watching so many videos, and I wanted to kind of wipe the slate clean, sort of. I'm going to admit to you, I've almost walked away. I almost just said, listen, this is, what am I contributing? I felt like I'm not contributing anything at all. I'm not really doing anything different than anybody else. And that's when I was getting kind of caught up in the comments and the conversation and the chats, and I felt like I wasn't contributing really anything. And I wanted to go back into the direction where I originally started this awesome adventure that I've been on since I started exploring and trying to learn about Sasquatch. And over time, I started to just take stock in what other people were thinking and comments and stuff like that. Other people's theories and ideas. I was getting away from my own individual theory. Again, things that I had developed through over time in my own experience, and I'm listening to others and being swayed, and in one direction or the other, whether right or wrong, or I preach open-mindedness and all theories welcome. But I think I may be a little weak in that department where I'm easily swayed, apparently. I was uncomfortable with that feeling, with the feeling that I was just part of the masses. And I definitely am kind of a little bit of a loner. I hike alone. I cruise my bike alone. I do a lot of stuff alone, and I'm up here alone a lot of the time as well. So to be in these big chat groups and stuff like that, I found myself being pointed in directions which I don't think anything was intentional by anybody for that to happen. But it did, nonetheless. So I want to give you a small, for instance, what happened here. This was recently. This was about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. And I saw two videos on tree break structures. Everything I talk about, which I think is a huge deal, way more important than anybody really gives it credit for. That if I can't go and look at one and study one and ask it questions and interview it, the closest thing I've got is footprints and what they leave behind in the forest. And I've heard this twice now. People completely dismiss these irregularities in the forest, these completely unnatural things, I believe to be unnatural. These small glyphs, tree breaks, saplings, and the stuff that I just talk about ad nauseum, that there's something to it, and I found hearing that bothered me. Another example, I heard another prominent channel talk about tree breaks, etc. They don't help us get any closer to Bigfoot. So this person wasn't saying that they are natural. This person was just saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about these. They don't help us get any closer to, or discovering anything new about Sasquatch. That they're just there. Like a footprint. Doesn't help. It doesn't do anything. That affected me, hearing that. I felt dejected. I shouldn't feel like that. That's ridiculous. I have my own theories, my own thoughts, and I shouldn't be affected like that, but I was. And I can't deny to myself how I felt about it. And I actually second guessed my own experiences, my own theories. I began to question, what am I doing? Because if those things mean nothing, then all my research on travel corridors and travel habits and the age of these breaks and how they travel different corridors, different seasons, and they may not be in a certain area for years. They may not pass through the same area for years. What have I been doing all this time? And I said, wait. I got to step away and step back. And the final reason for me stepping back some, I'm not going anywhere, is the idea that the frustration that I've gotten nowhere this whole time. And, I would sit and go, what am I, I am no gotten any further than anybody else on this subject in all this time. And I mean, it's only been, 2 years I've been doing this, I think. I don't remember when I first started. I think I've had my channel maybe for 2 years, and I have gotten nowhere. But I convinced myself that I have gotten somewhere. I have learned a lot. Anyways, and maybe I've actually helped some others out there realize that these anomalies in the forest, tree breaks, trees ripped out of the ground and stuck in the ground upside down with the root ball hanging up in the air, different structures, TP structures, or just things that are so not natural. There's got to be a reason for it. Could be people doing it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not going to step away. I'm not going to step back and just give up. I do this without a doubt for myself, for my own knowledge, for my own curiosity and my own passion on it. I'm so curious about these creatures, on just how awesome they are. And I mean that as in just their ability to do what they do and still be so close to us amazes me. And it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. And I almost stepped away and just threw my hands up, and I said, I found myself still thinking about it the same, when at one point I just was like, I'm not gonna do videos. This is ridiculous. And I found myself still thinking about it all the time, still driving down the road, almost crashing off the side of the road, because I'm just fascinated with the things I see left and right off the road, the hiking and the wilderness and the nature and the little woodland creatures and whatnot. Anyways, that's a little bit of an explanation on where my mind has been the past couple of months, and a little prior to that. On a little more brighter note, I want to talk to you guys. Thank you for listening. If you stuck through the video this far, I definitely appreciate it. And I'm going to give you a little my top 10 things I'm trying to get used to here in New Hampshire, living in the country up in the mountains. Number one, the pace is slow as molasses in the winter up here, except for the driving. The people that drive up here, the speed limit's 55. It means 65 and 70. Nobody does a speed limit. Other than that, the pace of life here is, and it's, I'm sorry, I had to take a sip of beer. I didn't want to swig in the video. And it's actually comforting. I like it. I like the laid back feeling of it. Number two, everybody waves at you up here. I can drive by, especially on my motorcycle, because you're right out in the open. But you drive by somebody and they wave at you. They're mowing the lawn. Hey, how are ya? I'm just like, I'm loving it, because I'm that kind of person that if you're within 10 feet of me at a convenience store, you're going to get a, hey, how are you? You know, how you doing? Boy, it's really hot as heck out, right? You know what I mean? Or it's really, whatever, talking about weather, whatever it may be. So I feel like I'm kind of in my element with the folk up here in the mountains. Number three, everything is down the street. Apparently, if you ask anybody that lives in the area, or just that lives in a country setting, it's just down the road a piece, or it's not far at all. Lies. It's all lies. There is nothing is close. Nothing. Everything is a half an hour to 45 minutes. I mean, when you go to the store to grab some milk, you might as well just bring a shopping list with you and drive another extra 20 minutes to go to a supermarket. Anyways, that's something I'm really trying to get used to, that there is really no down the street stuff. I happen to be fortunate. I happen to be very lucky. Not far at all. I have a little gas station nearby that sells anything you want is in this gas station. There's a Dunkin' Donuts in it, which I hate Dunkin' Donuts. But anyways, I'm very lucky in that point. Number four, it's huge. It is vast. This place is, I can't believe the acreage of unowned or just undeveloped land here is vast, huge, awesome. I really like that. I love driving down a road and you may not pass a house for miles. Pardon me. See, the beer's got me burping. Some signs up here will let you know. Listen, no gas for the next 20 miles. Like at least they warn you. But I really like that just the wide openness of it up here is awesome. Number five, the wildlife. It is everywhere. I've almost been killed more than once up here by deer in the road, roadkill in the road, but it's all over the place, even right in my yard. Like turkeys coming through, deer, little woodland creature, chipmunk. There's a couple chipmunks that live right outside my barn right here, and I give them peanuts from time to time. But I love that. Really, really enjoy the wildlife up here. Ooh, this one's awesome. The storms. This is number 6. The thunderstorms up here. They shake the very ground. They are amazing. Lightning that lights up the sky. And this is something that just this past week, this is the first storm up here that I've been through, the first thunder and lightning storm. Big, massive rain. Big, heavy, fat raindrops. It echoes, the thunder echoes off the valleys and off the mountains and ridges and in these little flat plains, and it shakes the ground. I'm not joking. My house moves. There was a couple of rumbles of thunder last night that scared the heck out of my daughter. The house was shaking, the ground was shaking, and it's an amazing, awesome feeling. And the lightning lights up the sky for, you can count 20 Mississippis. Just in awe of the storms up here and how the sound bounces off the mountains and stuff. It's really, can be frightening, actually. Number 7, the bugs. The bugs up here are brutal. They'll just pick you up and take you away if you let them. Anything you leave out, will have bugs on it in a matter of a half an hour. And that's probably being generous. You got to be careful with your trash up here. You can't, your countertops got to be clean. No crumbs anywhere. Bugs are everywhere. Spiders are everywhere up here. Spiders don't bother me so much. I'm not a fan of them. I wouldn't lay in a bed of them and enjoy it, but it's not like I'm freaked out by them. But bugs are everywhere up here. Even in my book, look at capital letters. Everywhere. All right. The lifestyle, just the country lifestyle up here is very welcoming. And on the flip side of that, it can be cold. You can go into a country store up here, and if there was a record playing, it would scratch. The needle would scratch right across the record, and everything stops, and everybody looks right at you. On many occasions, this has happened to me. Walk into, say, a small diner somewhere, and everybody knows everybody. They don't know who you are, and they're looking at you, and they're looking at what you're wearing. They're looking at me going, now that's a Flatlander right there. And I'm getting used to it, but the lifestyle up here is pretty cool. A lot of camouflage painted trucks, four-wheelers, dirt bikes, a lot of Harley Davidsons up here, and ski-mobiles and stuff like that. Along the sides of the roads up here on some of the major routes, there's actually stop signs on the side of the road for ski-mobiles, like where there's a ski-mobile crossing. They have their own stop sign, just this little stop sign in next to some tall grass on the side of the road. I asked my nephew, I'm like, why? What's that little stop sign? Oh, that's for the ski-mobiles in the wintertime. Very cool that they do that. Number 9, no trash pickup. This is a brand new thing for me, that you can't just put your trash out on the curb here and have it picked up by a trash truck. Not happening. I can imagine they don't have enough gas or diesel to put in the gas trucks to go to all the different houses and how far apart everything is up here to pick up your trash. So people either have their own little dumpsters, which I'm really thinking seriously about, rather than I'm fortunate the dump is not that far from it, not that far from me, and you just go to the dump every couple days or something like that, or once a week. But then again, you can't, because you can't leave trash outside, which I learned the second night I was here. Put my trash out in the back porch and came out the next day, and it was all over my lawn. And I'm like, okay, lesson learned on that one. The last one, no mail, no mailbox. You have to get a post office box here. And I'm like, lazy mailmen, boy, those state workers. No, I joke, I'm only kidding. They work through sleet, rain, and snow, just not in this part of New Hampshire. No mailboxes. You need to get your own P.O. box. So that's where I'm at with a P.O. box. You don't just open your door and check the mail. I have to go take a ride to the post office box, which is also the police station and the fire department and the butcher and the justice of the peace and the town hall. No, I'm joking. It's not that many. It's the police station and the post office. Thank you guys so much for clicking. I really do appreciate it. I'm not giving up on this. I refuse. I'm not going to make 5 videos a week, but I'm going to try to put out some more content. I hope you guys aren't bored of it, but I'm going back to doing what I used to do, and that's boots on the ground. And I'm just going to make videos. If nobody watches them, nobody watches them. If I can get to a few people here and there and maybe enlighten them, that would be my goal. And I love the comments, so keep the comments coming. I'm sorry, I have 5,300 and something subscribers. Hit the bugs, I'm telling you. And it's difficult to reply to you all. I do apologize if comments go unreplied to. I am sorry, but it's difficult with working, hiking, driving my trash to the dump, driving to the post office to get my mail. Thank you guys so much for clicking, and I'll definitely see you on the next one.